Alright, what's up, y'all? This is your boy Jay on the Segway. That's kind of a segue. Anyways, we're gonna review that NInebot Max back there, okay? So stay tuned. Alright guys, so check this out. We got the Ninebot scooter up here, the Max 30. This is the second generation model. Some people say, how do you know if it's a second gen? Well, the serial number here on the back wheel is going to start with a 9. If it starts with a 6, you see this says 9JAL. If that starts with a 6, then you got the first generation. What are the differences? Well, the second generation motor supposedly will hold 18.5 miles an hour up until like 15% battery. The first generation motor will slow down to 15. You guys who have the first gen, y'all verify that. What how much speed do you guys get after a certain battery? I think after 80%, once you get below 80%, the first generation guys will start to lose top speed. So that's one of the two differences. Or just that's one of the differences. Okay, so mine's is just a little modified just for ease of use, right? So couple of things that I bought, like this Wildman case right here. This is a 3-liter. So I got this 3-liter because I'm going to show you why. Because okay, so this is your folding mechanism right here. You'll slide this thing out, and then you take this and you push it down. You'll push your thumb up against here and push it down. Right now, let's talk about that real quick, because that's supposedly a weak spot on this scooter. So what I did was I bought something to replace a part inside of here. So let's bring this thing down and I'll show you guys. Okay, so Callum Johnson from Kick Motion sent me an email after I ordered a part on the Ninebot Max Facebook group. So if you guys want to know more about these scooters before you purchase them, you know, other than just my little video, go to Ninebot Max. That's it. You look that up on Facebook. It's a group, and they'll accept you. You can ask all the questions you want, but please, before you ask questions, make sure you guys go and look at the search bar and search for whatever you're looking for. And if you search through and you don't find what you're looking for, then feel free to ask a question in the group, right? Everybody will be happy to help you. So Callum Johnson from Kick Motion sent me a part. I ordered it last week. I can't remember what day. Could have been Tuesday last week, and I got it this Friday or Saturday. So really fast shipping. Shipping is a little on the pricey side, but that's relative for something that once you order this part, I have to just break this open. So this is the part right here. You see this? Where does this go? Follow me. We're going to this. We're going to go back to the stem right here. See this part? This is the folding mechanism. When you fold the handlebar up, you see how that works? Alright, so this part right here is this, and it'll go inside. You can kind of see how that works. Okay, so this part is unnecessary because that part right there is just a cheap steel. It breaks after a while. So when you get this scooter, be very careful with this whole mechanism. Do be very careful. There's people who've broken this handle right here. There's people who's broken this. I'm like, I don't know how, but I don't want to know how. Okay, you see this rubber gasket? Some of you guys may want to know what this is. This is a thing that you can buy on Amazon, right? You can buy it separately, probably like maybe like in a group of 10 or something like that, you want to get a bunch of those. You see how worn this is? I may have used this thing probably 5 or 6 times, maybe 5 or 4 times actually, but it sits in there. That way when you close the steering mechanism, it makes this more firm, because this thing without it eventually in time will start to get a little loose. So you buy those little gaskets to put in there so that it can be firm. So when you lock that latch closed, the steering is really stiff and secure, so to speak. Another weak point on these scooters are that fender. Okay, so when you want to transport this to pick it up, right? Watch this. This thing right here is going to latch on that hook on the fender. That way you can pick it up when you do pick it up, right? I'll show you guys real quick. You can just pick it up, and that little hook over there will allow this whole thing to become one piece. That way when you pick it up, it's easy. People have broken that fender during transport. So what you do is, once you get this in whatever you're gonna transport it in, whatever vehicle you're gonna transport it in, once you get it in there, you unhook this hook right here from this little latch right here. You disconnect them once you get it in your trunk, because if you don't, the vibrations of your vehicle could and will eventually break your fender. I know, like, what the heck, right? But that's what it is right now, guys. Another thing is, you don't have a physical brake back here by this wheel. This is just electronic. This is the motor. You know, the motor's inside of here, and it has regenerative braking for the rear. The front, you have an actual hand brake. You got a handle right here. It'll turn the front brake on. I'm not 100% sure. Yep, it does. It does regen brake in the front. So if you pull the front brake, it'll regen. If you don't pull any brakes at all, but you start to go downhill, it'll start to regenerate power back into your scooter. What I like about this scooter is that the range. I've done a couple of range tests on this thing on the same route, and I literally used the same amount of energy between normal, eco, and sport mode if my speed was like averaging 7 to 8 miles an hour. Let's say between 6 and 8 miles an hour. If I set the cruise control at 7 miles an hour, I literally used the same exact power through all modes on the same route with the same distance. There was no difference. You'll start to use more power if you ride faster. If you start going 10, 11 miles an hour, then the power is going to vary, because you're going to use more energy to keep your speed up. When you're going 6 or 7, 8 miles an hour, this motor in particular is just kind of floating. It's not even really working, so to speak. But it depends, because the route that I did it on, the elevation changes weren't too dramatic. So if you live in like San Francisco, where you got a bunch of hills and stuff like that, you're gonna probably be in sport mode all the time. And that's just gonna drink juice. You're not gonna get much range out of it. I haven't gotten to the point where, oh wow, I see a fucking worm in here. I haven't gotten to the point. Hold on, I gotta show you. This is bugging me. The fuck is he doing here? Look at that. So anyways, if you guys live in like San Francisco or something like that, you know, one of those cities where there's a lot of hills up and down, expect maybe 23 miles max range, and it may be even less than that depending on the weather and stuff like that. So keep that in mind. I've only taken this on river walks where, like I said, it's relatively flat with some little bit of uphills. Every time you go under an overpass, you know, you'll have to go back up the hill. Stuff like that is what I've been riding these on, just for consistency. I ride with 38 psi. My rider weight is anywhere between 197 and 202 pounds, which was like 50, 60 something kilos or something like that. And that includes everything I keep in storage inside this little pouch. And all of this, You know, I weighed with myself with all that stuff on me, and sometimes my GoPro bag, and the max weight was like 202 pounds, and I've gotten like, if I ran the battery down to 5%, I would have probably ridden about 42 to 43 miles, and that's with that much weight. But that's if I keep my speed at 7 to 8 miles an hour, so keep that in mind. This scooter is pretty good. I don't want to get too caught up in the other basic stuff, but let's go over the actual scooter and some of the accessories that I have. So before we get into that, I want you guys to know, I have to stress how careful you guys need to be when handling this whole stem area. All of this stuff in here, just be careful. All right, when you're pulling it and snapping it together, try to do it with tact. Don't be rough with it, because you will break it, and then you're going to be on the Facebook page trying to figure out how to buy replacement parts. I have to stress that very much. You have to be very delicate with this stuff, because it'll just break on you, trust me. I'm already working on finding all the aftermarket parts that's going to make this stronger, so I don't have to worry about that ever. Another thing that people do is they'll get a Velcro strap and strap it right around here. They'll strap it right around this handle to keep it from popping out forward. But when I put that gasket in, it's real stiff, so you don't have to if you got the gasket, but it's always good for extra safety to get like a Velcro strap, just a Velcro strap, and strap it around here. So keep that also in mind. It does come with the kickstand. You know what? Let's not go over that stuff, because look at the pictures and you'll see what it comes with. If you guys are interested in the aftermarket stuff that I've got to make my life better with this whole scooter, then let's do that. The Wild Man 3 liters. Like I said, we got this cell phone holder. You see the name brand of that. We got the Psycho light. Right now, this handlebar, the handlebar that the light is attached to, this whole bar right here, you see this arm that goes from the original handlebar to this external bar, and then on this side also, that's a toe maul. The brand name of that is toe maul. You guys can see there. To make that work, I had to buy some inner tube, bicycle inner tube, you know, the rubber, because the rubber is really sticky and just grippy. So what I did was I bought the inner tube and I cut it as thin as these bars are right here, and you can probably see where the inner tube is. It's between the original bar and this little bar thing right here. So right inside of there is the inner tube. I wrapped it around the handlebar, the original handlebar, real tight, but just a little bit, just enough so I can get that arm around it and tighten it down. That's so that this bar doesn't move. That's why you do it. You do it so that this bar is real secure. It just doesn't move. You crank it down, don't over crank it, but you crank it down, and I'm able to have my GoPro Hero 9 in the media mod and the Hero 8 in the media mod with that Psycho light Metro 700 lumen headlight on a bumpy road, and that bar does not move, period. It doesn't move. That is a very good accessory because I am able to put my GoPros on it. The headlight, I'm thinking the limit before it'll start moving if the road is bumpy, if you were to have those 3 things and the cell phone holder, but there's no space for that. It's not wide enough. I think it's about 8 to 10 inches wide. It's about 8 inches wide. Okay, if you guys want to know how wide that bar is, the auxiliary bar, it's about 8 inches wide. So you can only literally get the 2 GoPros and a headlight on there. That's probably going to be about it. This orange thing right here, you guys are wondering, I got that on the Walmart's website. If you go to Walmart and you type Max 360 screen protector for like the display, that shows up. Now the problem I have with that thing is it's not too big, but it's really loose. right? So like you put it on without anything. If you just put it over the display on that Max 360, I mean on the Max 30, if you put it over the display, it's gonna be like loose. It's like putting the baggy pants on or something like that. So what I had to do was I had to buy some 3M tape that's kind of thick and put it around. I had put it around the rim. You see this side here that actually loops around this? I had put some right on this end here. I put some on the sides, put some on the front side, and doing that allowed it to be tight enough at that point, and it's 3M tape, so it kind of stuck, you know, allow it to stick or whatever. And it works. It's been working. I haven't had any issues with it, so I guess it's good to go. Special mention that I have is going to be this guy right here, because getting air I'm crouching down. This is a ghetto ass video. I'm crouching down because to get air in those tires it can be easy if you go to a gas station or something and you use the actual, you know, the hose, because you just push it in the stem and then pull it out. But if you want a portable solution, Xiaomi made a small digital air pump, and this thing has 5 out of 5 star reviews on Amazon. Can you believe that? This is what it looks like. So this thing will pump from 0.2 bar up until 10.3 bar slash I guess 150 psi up to 150 psi. This thing is digital, right? So once you plug this into your tire, I don't want to do it in my tire yet, but once you okay, so to get this activated, you have to take the red side out. It's got a sensor, and you see that the LED display comes on. Now how I'm seeing it is I see a bunch of zeros on my screen because I got this little front facing screen. Oh, it is a bunch of zeros anyway. This thing has a flashlight, so it has a button on here for the flashlight. You see that? Turns the flashlight on when you press it. So it's just one level flashlight, you know, it's not no different brightnesses or anything like that. You have a button to cycle through if you want to fill up a motorcycle or a bicycle or a car, and it's got PSI and bar readings. Basketball, football, soccer ball, all kinds of balls. Anyways, this thing will fill all kinds of balls. It's pretty loud supposedly, but you gotta expect these little things to be loud. A full charge, if you had this thing fully charged, you can fill 6 motorcycle wheels up. So for cars, probably 2 car tires you can fill up with this little thing on a charge. So this one of those things is where it weighs probably about 1.5 pounds. It's just my guess, you know. So that's like what, 0.5 of a kilogram weight wise. They said on the packaging it says frame mounted air pump. You see anywhere this is gonna mount? I don't see this mounting anywhere but in a pouch. So unless you have a pouch, you may need a book bag to put this in. This is boss right here. This thing has good reviews. You can see once you hook this thing up to your tire, you can see how much pressure is in there. If you actually have air in your tires, it'll tell you how much air you have in it. And yeah, and you charge it USB. There's a little door down here at the bottom. Let's pluck this thing out, and it's a little USB-B, basically this bad boy. Little old school now, right? I know, but that's what they gave us. So it comes with this little charging USB cable, and it comes with this little microfiber pouch. This microfiber pouch comes with a little kangaroo pouch inside of it. So you have a mini pouch inside the main pouch, and the mini pouch is where you're going to put 2 more accessories that this comes with. Yep, that's Velcro. It comes with this end right here, whatever this is. I don't know what that is. It looks like a if you want to just take air out of whatever it is that you're putting air in, or whatever you want to take air out of, you screw that onto the stem of the right here. This is already plug and play for any bike, car, motorcycle. It's plug and play right out the box. And then you got those two attachments, and this is the other one for your balls. That's what it comes with. That's it. And some pamphlet stuff, you know, book it and file it. And that's what I'm gonna do right now. Put these little accessories back inside. And you guys definitely got to get this pump. How do you turn this pump off? Because I'm not sure if this thing's gonna automatically turn off on its own. Well, hey, you take this little thing and you put it right back in the red side. Watch this. Bam. Off. Get you one of these Xiaomi. The link is below. By the way, no one's paying me to do this. I'm not even monetized. I'm trying to get monetized, but I'm not. And I'm doing all this shouting out right now. So if you guys are watching this, you companies, you know. Yeah. Anyways, I'm filming this on a GoPro Hero 9 Black with the media mod, and I got the Rode video microphone on top with the dead cat. Hopefully you guys hear me really good. Back to the scooter. It's got good range, okay. There are scooters that give you more range than this guy right here, and more power, and they cost a lot more money, 4 or 5 times as much, literally. This is gonna be my last kick scooter before I do get one of those $3,000-4,000 scooters, unless Segway makes one that goes 60 miles. They can advertise what they want. If they say it can go 60 miles, I'm probably going to get 60 miles out of it. So who's buying this scooter? Who is this scooter for? In my opinion, this thing is for the city cruiser. This is a city cruiser. I mean, river walks, trails. I wouldn't, riding this thing on the sidewalks, terrible. Doesn't have suspension, and I've never ridden one of these with a suspension kit, so I don't know what I'm missing. I just ride Segways, you know, like the regular Segways, the Mini Pro and the Mini Plus. So I've never owned a kick scooter with a suspension setup, and so I don't know what I'm missing. But this, I rode this on sidewalks today. Oh, terrible, just terrible. It's super bouncy, and you have to lift the front wheel up on some of the bumps or the lumps in the road, because you know, if you don't, then remember I told you guys about this? You just weaken it, man. It's a lot of stress on that. So when I'm riding, I try to be mindful about all that stuff and just try not to put stress on this whole steering mechanism, because I don't feel like replacing stuff when, you know, I could have avoided it. But yeah, my recommendation says this is for a city cruiser. This is no hardcore off-road machine. You can ride it off-road. You can do some cool stuff off-road. It just doesn't have the power, man. Like, it just doesn't. You know, my Segways have some good power, and then I got on this guy, and I'm like, it just doesn't have that torque. You know, if you need a scooter for off-roading, I wouldn't buy this at all. This ain't your scooter right here. If you like to ride off-road, it's just, you're gonna be modifying it to suit your needs, and you're just gonna burn up your money. It's not even really worth it, if you ask me. So I don't know, it's got a good board, good battery. If you ride it, don't charge it immediately after you ride. Let the batteries cool off for about, I'm gonna say 30 minutes. It could be 10 minutes or 15 minutes. I personally, I'll wait till 30 minutes. I want this motherboard and the batteries to cool down to like ambient temperatures before I start charging it. That's how you make your batteries last longer. You don't put them through so much stress. As soon as you finish riding 20 miles, you put them on the charger. Give it a break. Let it rest for about 30 minutes and then charge it back up. After charging, I try to wait again, you know, because when you're charging the batteries, it's hot. Not hot, but warm, and you just want to let them cool down before you start using them again. It's just kind of being easy on your batteries. That's another thing I want you guys to be mindful of. And this thing should last you a while. There are modifications for this thing. If you guys join the NInebot Max group, you will see there's people making quality battery packs, you know, that's bigger than the one that's in here. give you more range, a lot more speed. This thing has the capability. Ninebot just kind of tuned it down. They just kind of like, you know, this is like a Honda Civic of scooters, or good on range, should I say, good on batteries, whatever you want to call it. That's what this thing reminds me of. It's like the Honda Civic of the scooters. You know, it's slow and it's got good range. Could be reliable, but like I said, you have to upgrade a couple of things. So hopefully that you guys, you know, this was informational. I tried to be as informational as possible. If I missed anything, let me know. You know, the front brake is mechanical. It's a cable, so when you pull on it, it has that cable feel to it. This does have IPX5, you know, rating, so you can really, like, it's not waterproof, but it's almost waterproof. I mean, you know, there is 2 different ways to charge this. I almost forgot. Give you the screen. This is the cord that it comes with. This one right here. They're saying that you can plug a cable that looks like that. That's your alternative. So if this 3-prong, or this is a 3-prong charger. So if this thing doesn't work anymore, then you can use a charger that's about that size. What size is that? Hell if I know. But this is what makes it really, you see these, it's all rubber. So you push that in there and you can ride through water like crazy. I wouldn't ford this in water, but you can, if it's raining, you can ride it in rain. But that's another thing. People are saying that the bearings in here, and this back, the front wheel, the bearings suck. They're cheap, and when they get wet, they're gonna start making noise after a while. How long is that? I don't know. I haven't ridden this through rain. After hearing that, I'm probably not gonna ride this in rain. So if you guys plan on riding it in rain, get on that NInebot Max website and do some research. There are articles out there about which bearings to get. They're going to be ceramic, some type of ceramic bearings. I'm probably going to buy them anyway, it's just something not to worry about. A lot of the pros will use grease for repacking the bearings instead of the liquid spray or whatever. So the grease is just better overall. So yeah, you guys are going to end up changing the bearings eventually. It sounds like a lot of a hassle, but it's really not. I mean, if you're a hardcore rider and you like to ride this thing through everything, then this probably isn't the scooter for you. You might want to get you something more rugged, and that's just going to cost more. You got to have those pockets for that. So something that I can see being an issue here, this is the front wheel. The bottom of the brake is a clearance issue. See how close that is to the bottom of the tire? So if you're riding next to sidewalks and stuff like that, you might want to keep that in mind, because that thing could just scrape up on something and then boom, you just damaged your front brake. So it's got a rear tail light. It's got its own headlight. I think that's all I got, man. Jonasegway. Hope you guys like the review. All right. Be nice. Be courteous. Be the reason why someone smiles. Okay? Can you do that for me? All right, cool. Later.